All right, let's talk about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, who did not have a particularly great offensive day in this one. I actually want to start off with some positives, though, because, listen, we're going to get into the negatives. There definitely were a good amount of plays that just did not work for the Bears, but this game, unlike some of these other games, we actually started to see Caleb Williams hit on some of these impressive plays. For example, this play where the concept is the receiver lined up towards the offense's left, runs a deep shot over the middle. This will get the corner to follow him. Then you have another player who kind of runs deep in that area. Hopefully hopefully nobody picks this up and you have a wide open player. Usually a linebacker or a safety is going to read this play, but that's still an advantage, kind of a mismatch there. When this play begins, it's well executed by the Bears, but also well covered by the Colts. They do not screw this up at all. I think this is good defense, but just because of the concept, you still have a bit of a window. It's a tough window, though. I mean, this far down the field, you're really going to have to hit your location if you want to make this throw. But that ends up being exactly what Caleb Williams does. I mean, look at that pinpoint accurate throw right there. That was just really incredible by Williams to be able to pull that off. So yeah, I mean, really good stuff. Also, this play, a bit more open, but still a good play. It's going to be a zone coverage concept. You see the route that could get kind of past the middle of the field area here. Williams takes the snap. He's going to look in that direction once again. And again, this one is open. This one's more open than the last one. The last one was like, really tough throw to make. This one, still not the easiest play to make, I would say. But Williams makes a really nice throw there. That was Rome Odunze, who had a really good game. They're able to pick up a decent completion. So, there were some positives here by Caleb Williams, absolutely. But, I mean, I gotta be honest, it was not all good. It just wasn't. And, for one thing, this play, this is going to be insane. So, watch him throw off balance. The fact that I'm going to criticize him at all for trying to hit this throw would be insane. This is a really difficult throw to make. Throwing across his body, there's a small window. I do have to say, though, we saw Caleb Williams hit on some of this stuff in college, right? That was why he got drafted first overall. Why he got Mahomes comparisons is because he can hit on these. This time he misses, and again, the fact that he missed this one throw, I don't care how good you are at this stuff, you're not going to hit on this consistently. But the fact that we're not seeing any of these hit is a little bit disappointing, I think it's fair to say. He was billed as the guy who can make these types of throws. The fact that he's currently not making these types of throws, really, I think it's underwhelming. And if you're a Bears fan, you're hopeful that he will start hitting on these soon. But, of course, that's not really the big issue. One issue, which we saw very early on in this game, again, him and DJ Moore not on the same page. I don't know what it is with those two guys and why they're struggling so much to get on the same page. But, I mean, they're just not even, again, DJ Moore thinks it's one route. Caleb Williams thinks it's a different route. This is just happening all the time with these guys. They got to figure something out. Also, Williams had multiple interceptions. Let's talk about them. First, this one, which was actually after that, the real highlight of the game by Caleb Williams, the first play I showed you. This is now a 3rd down and 4. You see this route, again, could work, could get underneath this gap in coverage, but if you're going to make this throw, it's already a bit risky. Caleb Williams is lined up closer to the top of the screen than the bottom of the screen. So if you're going to make the throw, you got to get it there quickly. However, watch how long it takes Williams to get the ball there. Watch him. First, he looks somewhere else, eventually gets over there, and takes a while after he gets over there. Not to mention, the pressure slowed that throw down. So by that point, the defensive back for the Colts is able to jump this route. As you see, he ends up pulling off the interception. Definitely a good defensive play, no denying that. But at the same time, I think this is one that Caleb Williams would like to have back. And again, it's something we're going to talk about more in this video. The processing for Caleb Williams just needs to be sped up. The NFL game happens so much quicker. He can be this slow in college and make it work. He has to start just going faster. I mean, he has to slow the game down, as cliche as it is. The game it moves fast for a lot of young quarterbacks, and I think he is one of those quarterbacks where the game is moving fast for. The other interception was kind of a bit of a weird one, actually, where it's going to be a zone coverage concept. You have Odunze, who's going to try and get into a gap in coverage towards the offense's left. Williams takes the snap. He's going to run this play action. And when he makes this throw, you're immediately thinking, oh no, what are you doing? I mean, this is double coverage. There's, really not a huge window for this ball to be thrown. This is definitely a situation where, okay, it's not surprising this ended up an interception. However, watch what happens. Williams actually makes a really nice throw on this one. There was some contact that wasn't called, results in an interception. So, like, okay, listen, it was an interception. That's not a turnover-worthy play. Williams hit his spot. It's a dangerous pass, and it's when you're fitting it through a tight window, sometimes things are going to go wrong. But, I don't know, at least on this one, he hit his spot. So, there is, again, the benefit of he can make some impressive throws. This was an impressive throw, despite the fact that it was caught by the wrong team. However, then I have to go over here because this is a zone coverage concept. Again, receiver running a route, trying to get underneath the safety, kind of similar to that last play. And I have to say, if I want to sit here and say that last play probably shouldn't have been an interception. It was kind of it's tough that gets put on Williams' stat sheet. When this play begins, it's going to be a kind of similar situation. You have a window right here, but you have to make sure you really throw a line drive and get it there quickly, which is what Williams did on the play I just showed you. But this time it just hangs up there, and that was dangerously close to being an interception there. So while he got kind of unlucky on one earlier, gets lucky on one here. So there still is too much putting the ball in harm's way. And I mean, Williams is just someone where, like this play, like, you see him just airmail a receiver. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy airmail receivers on deep shots by as much as he seems to do it. I mean, Josh Allen early on definitely had an issue with that as well. But, like, I mean, these are uncatchable balls that he's throwing pretty consistently. So the accuracy thing is weird because that wasn't really an issue in college. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. But like this one's another one where it's going to be a zone coverage play that the Colts are running right here. It's you see cover 3 zone. You see the receiver's route trying to get into a gap in coverage. Williams takes the snap and he's going to look in that direction. But again, this is really just good defense by the Colts kind of crashing in. I don't know how much blame I put on Williams because he does get rid of the ball quickly. I think you would have liked to see him read this. But again, young player. You're kind of still learning how good these NFL players are, how much ground they can cover quickly. This one had a chance of getting intercepted as well, is incomplete. But yeah, so some questionable decisions there by Caleb Williams. There was some flags on that play as well, but still, I think maybe you would have liked to see him read this a little bit better. I think that's fair to say. Also, I gotta talk about this because so I'm gonna just pause it right here. Something I keep hearing people say is, well, this offensive line's really bad. And listen, I'm not saying it's great, but here's a stat that will be shocking to a lot of people. PFF has the Bears pass blocking unit ranked 10th best in football. And while PFF is not the end-all be-all, I actually don't fully disagree with that. That seems a bit high, but I do think that a lot of the quote-unquote offensive line issues are more issues like what you're about to see here. Williams is going to take the snap. This is exotic pressure by the Colts, and even with that, with the 5-man rush and guys coming in different directions, we are now over 3 seconds into the play, and Williams still has a clean pocket. This is what you get in the NFL. In fact, this is more than what you usually get in the NFL. Usually 2.7 seconds is about as much as you're getting on average. So getting this much time is actually a good thing, but one of the real issues of Caleb Williams coming out of college was he holds on to the ball for a while, and usually in college he was able to make things happen, and it would work out that he hangs on to the ball for a while. But here, when he finally does try to scramble out, it does not work and he gets sacked. So, again, when you're watching the game casually, eating nachos, drinking a beer, you're like, oh man, our offensive line sucks when you watch this play. But the reality is, this is not a bad offensive line play. This is a good offensive line play. I would even say a great offensive line play. You got over 3 seconds with an exotic blitz. Like, that's really good. It all goes back to kind of the biggest issue for Williams is his processing. Just he needs to speed up his game right now. He's playing too slow. It's definitely something that can be fixed. I mean, we saw Fields kind of go through the same thing, and he slowly got better at this. So you're going to need to see Caleb Williams do the same thing. So, yeah, if he's going to improve, and I do think, to end with a positive, I do think he played better in this game. Like I said, you started to see the flashes. That's what you want to see. He just, he's going to have to really learn how learn how the processing works. I was actually talking to my brother, and he brought up a good point where he's like, maybe it's just best to sit Caleb Williams for a bit, kind of let him sort of learn, okay, this is how you play the game. See a backup, you play well, and get rid of the ball faster. Granted, the Bears don't really have a veteran quarterback. Tyson Bagent is their backup, so maybe it's not the perfect way to do it, but, it might not be the worst idea in the world. But either way, I think there's still a lot of talent here, but there's just a lot of things he has to figure out. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.